Hello, welcome to the Abroad Experience podcast. This is a place where we hear stories of life abroad, and we have guests who come and tell us those stories and ideas. They share with us ideas. It's always an interesting place to be. And now, since you're here, we thank you for being with us. And if also you get to listen to this as the recorded version, we are thankful to you for being a part of us. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel, the Abroad Experience channel on YouTube, and share this episode with all your friends so that they can join us. Let's hear what our guest has to say. We have a special guest today. His name is Aleksei Kondratenko. He's going to be here. We're going to be talking about AI and much more than AI. You'll find out in the episode. So let me not take one moment because I think I'm taking too much introducing the show. Please welcome on stage, Aleksei. Hi, Aleksei.
Hi, Anthony. Hi, everyone.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Thanks. Somehow we are doing it from the same place, huh? From the
Yeah,
same city, I mean.
yeah. Where are you right now?
So I'm in Athens, a bit out of Athens, in the suburb of Athens, Greece.
Okay, I'm also in Greece, the northern part of Athens. We are in the same neighborhood, so to say, and it's good. We've always connected with people from far in, I mean, different countries, the US, the UK, I mean, so many places. But when we are having someone from the neighborhood, I'm excited. And my guests are also excited. Hey, we have someone we can relate to, those who are here within.
Yes.
But where originally do you come from?
I'm originally from Russia.
Okay, it's a big country. One of the
Yes.
a big country. So, and how long have you been in Greece? Just
In
curious.
Greece, like for around 1 year and a half, I would say.
Okay.
But I not continuously. I was going back and forth. But I'd say the first time I came to live here was around 1 year and a half.
And coming from Russia, you were born there, grew there. Tell us
Yes.
a bit about your background, if you so wish.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Russia. I was born in a city which is kind of very cold. It's close to Yekaterinburg, so it's close to Siberia, I would say. But when I was like 3, my family moved to the like a warmer city in Russia. So basically, I grew up there. It's called Voronezh, and I grew up there, and I was there up to 22 years old. So I basically had my school there and bachelor also in there. And then at 22 years old, I moved to Italy, to Lombardy region. So the city I lived for 3.5 years called Lecco. It's on a Lake Como. And then after that, I moved to Milan. So I lived in Italy for 7 years. And I was not anyhow related to nomad community, but I had the curiosity about it. And then as soon as I transitioned my career and established the way to make my work remotely, I basically started to move around, and after some strolls around Asia, I eventually ended up in Greece, Athens.
Okay, and this is where you are. And for the sake of someone who's just watching us right now, it's good to let them know that now, since you're in Athens, and there's a forthcoming Nomad Fest,
Yep.
the Athens Nomad Fest, to let them know that you are one of the people who is going to be there providing a workshop.
Yeah. It's the 20th of September, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Sunday. Yeah, and it's September is a nice place to be in Athens. It's still warm, but not too hot. So hopefully it could
Mhm.
be hot, but I mean it's not the peak season, so it's a nice place to be, nice time to be. So I will be having a workshop about personal AI agents. So yeah, that's and how they can help people who will be attending, which will be mainly probably digital nomads, so people who move in a lot around. So yeah, that will be
Personal, personal AI agents. Yeah, if these days everything is AI. I mean, that's AI that you're always hearing about. So I believe that we are going to have a great time listening to you and attending your workshop. When did your interest start on AI?
So look, I'm by training, I'm a civil engineer. All right. So basically, I did my bachelor in civil engineering. I was working in this industry as a structural engineer, basically designing buildings. Right. So that was my background, and even when I moved to Italy, my master's was also about it. And I didn't have any interest to AI, but then I was also working as a structural engineer in Italy or in Russia, and then in Italy, and I just felt that it's not like, I mean, I just felt that if I do it for the whole life, it's not how I want my life to be.
Mhm,
Yeah, it's actually, it's interesting profession, and it's a good I think social uh, benefit that you do, because you basically kind of construct the world around. So it's something that's definitely, and it's also quite interesting profession. But I hated going to office a lot, and like kind of everybody around was doing similar things. So I didn't feel I like it, but I didn't feel that it's okay not to like it, because it seems everybody is doing it, right? I mean,
mhm,
talking about way before COVID and remote work like kind of let's say exploded, right? So yeah, so I kind of I was feeling quite sad that it's supposedly be my life now, going 9 to 6, being attached to the office and etc. Even though I usually work with nice people and a nice environments, but still. And then I was thinking, how can I potentially change it? And accidentally, what happened is I was working for the office in Italian company in Lecco, and then COVID happened,
mm,
and so everything stopped. And I was finishing my master thesis
mm,
on in Italy, and my supervisor proposed me to go to PhD. And this is not I thought of doing it somewhere, maybe like some other country, just for the sake of going inside the place through the PhD, and then establishing myself through there, like what people do. But at the same time, I was not much interested in PhD in Italy, because I was already in Italy.
mm,
So, and PhD as the, like, basically doctorate as the thing was not much of interest for me. However, it was a COVID time, and my job stopped. So basically, what happened is nobody knew when it will be continuing. So, and I thought that it probably seems like a safe option to do, like, because PhD doctor, it means for 3 4 years you're kind of secured in terms of like money, income, and stuff. So it's not, you will not be susceptible to the market dynamics in the world that was subjected at that point of time to COVID. So, and I accepted this offer, and then after I accepted, a month after, my job came back. So, but and then I was very thinking, like, should I go back to, should I keep working and kind of reject my PhD even though I accept it, or should I keep it? And then the PhD itself supposedly supposed to be also about civil engineering, but then eventually I decided, okay, I go to PhD, which was honestly the best decision I made in my career, to be honest. And in the PhD, in the first months, my supervisor, because the PhD was not like, you have a topic and you just go deeper there. My
mm,
supervisor, amazing person, absolutely amazing person, Alper. He basically brought me. He was willing to bring me different stuff. Yeah, there is a main topic, but also we do other things around.
mhm,
And he, the first month, he brought me something, a thesis or master thesis about AI, which was genetic algorithm basically. But it's one of the AI approaches. It was 2020, basically COVID year, and I got so much into it. So then after this, I started. So I kind of felt that, first of all, it's something that I think is very promising. And it was 3 years before ChatGPT, I think. I felt that it's something very promising. I felt that it's something that I can make a lot of money probably, and also it can enable me being, like a remote and being flexible. Because there was this story already appearing of these people who are, with their laptops going around everywhere and doing like interesting stuff without being attached to the office. And I kind of felt that probably this is potentially my ticket, and let me try to see if I like it or not. But I felt a lot of excitement. And
mhm,
then I started to learn it more and more. And again, PhD is amazing for me in this case, because especially in the first year, you need to do things, but it's not 9 to 5, or it's not a pressure of the market or the job to do. So you have some free time to explore And I really, which is a present, honestly, because if you do your typical job, right, it's very hard to also start doing AI on the side, because usually your brain is already fried by the end of the day. It's very hard to squeeze this time. But I just had it, and I could embed it as a part of my PhD. And eventually my PhD became more about AI rather than civil engineering, because it was kind of all together, right? So, this is how it sparked. And then, but it was still not as popular as it's now.
Mhm.
But it was still, it's clear that for me it was that it's a way to go. And for people mind, it was like something cool in the future, interesting, but it was of course not like now, when everybody is has an opinion about it, or at least heard something, or touched it, right? Because when I started, people who touched it, I mean, yeah, we can say that there is a spam filter that is actually AI, and it used to be for a long time. So we kind of touched it even before, unintentionally, or like, let's say, without knowing. But
Mhm.
it was not a situation that people deliberately communicating with AI on a daily basis like it is now. But yeah,
Mhm.
so it was a very different time, and I'm happy that I started it back then, because I needed to develop a lot of base knowledge, like in a old school way. That's helped me to establish a good foundation. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's more or less the story. This is how I got sparked. It's kind of an accident in a lot of ways, but accident for the best, obviously.
That's a good one. And it's good when you have exposure to something that is exceptional before other people have that experience. Well, although now it's never too late for each and every one of us. That's why we are eager to come to the workshop and know what it is
Yeah,
that you're going to share with us. We'll come back to the details of what we are going to expect there. Uh, but this being the Abroad Experience podcast, we'll touch. Please tell us about more about your abroad experiences in general, not basically now in AI. In the
yeah.
movements that you've made, you've been in Russia, Italy, Greece. Are these the main places that you've stayed for longer, or do you have other places that you've stayed for much longer?
Yeah, Italy I stayed the most. I would say then Greece, and then Thailand. I
Mhm.
spent around probably 6 months of my life in Thailand, and in general in Asia, I think, if I calculate, maybe around 8 or 9 months. Mainly Thailand, but not only. And yeah, so I would say that my broad experience in terms of living kind of can span between Italy mainly, then Greece, and Asia, especially Southeast Asia, but
Mhm.
also like some periods here and there. Like it was actually some periods, a real nomadic life that I navigated several weeks here, several weeks there. So if you'd like go into that, to this broad experience briefly, I'm happy that I started with Italy, because it's like, it's you get to the hardest from the very beginning. Italy is not for beginners, and especially from the point of view of foreigner.
Mhm.
It's not friendly for foreigner at all. It's people are warm, generally friendly to me, but it's not friendly in terms of system. It's
Mhm.
not anyhow designed for foreign people to be and do anything in there.
Mhm.
Honestly, some Italians can say it's not even designed for Italian people to be and do anything there. But this is, of course, half a joke, half a truth. But for the foreigner, it was very hard. I didn't know Italian much. I knew basics. You need to speak Italian. A lot of things are very particular. But it's typical experience of a European country, to be honest, because there is a lifestyle of people, and you must align there or go. It's not like US or Canada where you go and you do whatever, or Thailand. You just do whatever you want in your own schedule. Nobody cares. You can do. In
Mhm.
countries like Italy, Germany, probably France, others, you really need to adhere to the schedule. Like if from 3 to 6 they're not supposed to eat food, then you go and there is nothing working to feed you, and it doesn't matter, that you that you actually want to eat at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., right? So
Mhm.
this, I mean, and a lot of things like that. So of course, in this case, Italy was a very hard level, but I got I think if you can, as a foreigner, if you can move and live in Italy, you can move and live anywhere else in the world. So of
Okay.
course, Greece is much easier. Greece is absolute blessing.
Yeah.
I really feel that, and I'm here now and being around the world, I feel extremely happy. It's very flexible in terms of both people mindset and how things are going, which is completely opposite from Italy. And I can really do anything anywhere. Like even in my small city, I live a bit outside of Athens. I can order things, so I can go out and I can buy things and I can get things like anytime I want. It's just one of the things, of course. And I just feel that I can live in my lifestyle, which is the most important thing for digital nomads, right? I
Mm,
don't, if I live a digital nomad, I can have calls with America, I can have calls with Asia. I need to wake up too early or I need to stay up too late. This and it's digital nomad life. It's quite a mess. I cannot stay in this schedule because my life is completely outside of it. So
yeah.
obviously, these countries like Italy are not a fit because they could be optimized if you work 9 to 6 and you kind of blend in the whole like train. But if you are like digital nomad and you're doing like in my case doing things remotely, right? Your schedule is in general, it could be some routines obviously, but you are very flexible just by definition. Things are happening here and there. So to me, Greece is the best country to be from this perspective because I can do things on my terms and there is no judgment that
Mm,
happens in Italy. Oh, you take cappuccino after 12. Oh, my granddad didn't do it this way, so I
yeah.
will judge you for doing it this way because you don't do it the way my granddad did. So I don't find anything like this in Greece, which I'm happy. So yeah, and about Asia. So basically, what happens? I've been in Thailand for after Italy. I just get out and I spent 4 months in Thailand. Then I came to Greece. Absolutely amazing, also for digital nomads. People like it's you can live any lifestyle you want. Bangkok, Chiang Mai, also like somewhere on the south, Phuket or whatever. Have everything like Greece. You can have a beach lifestyle. You can have city lifestyle, whatever you want. And yeah, so it was last year. This year we traveled all around Asia. It was proper nomad style, like 3 weeks Japan, 3 weeks South Korea, like several days like in Hong Kong or Singapore, and like five weeks in Vietnam. So it was really like hopping from one place to another and seeing which of them will be suitable to like to be as a digital nomad or not. And of course, Thailand and Vietnam are very suitable. South Korea and Japan are not. So, and it's quite expected, right? Outcome, but still, it was a nice experience to kind of travel, explore new cultures, explore new places, and also work and basically kind of live your life, but with a change in background all the time.
Mm. Speak to someone who has not been traveling and encourage them to travel. Why should you encourage them to travel?
I mean, it's the best way to open your mind.
Hmm.
You can open your mind reading books, right? Or nowadays watching some videos. Like it's a lot of ways to do it and or change your perspective and things. But traveling is the best tool for that. Changing your mind, changing. You can watch a lot of videos about Japan or read a lot of books, but if you go there and you just walk around whatever Tokyo or even smaller city for like a day, you will get so much more exposure like that you never even expected to see or to experience. And it's of course for me it also it's encourages me to explore more. Like I didn't really explore much of Japanese or Korean history, for example, right, or Vietnamese history, because why should I care? But when I'm in there for like 5 weeks, I feel so encouraged to do that, and then I go around and I look at the things from a different perspective. I have a bit more knowledge, a bit more depth, and and it's very big problem of the Western world in general, and America, of course, in particular. But even Western world, a lot of things are explored and perceived by people from the Western perspective,
Hmm.
right? Like even people say like Greece is the mother of civilization. It is a mother of Western civilization, but before Greece, China existed for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
And like this type of things, and a lot of people in the West, they are not really, because it's not, of course, the heritage that they
Hmm.
observing on a daily basis. On a daily basis in Europe, people observe Greek or Roman heritage mainly, right? And of
Hmm.
course some other, but it's kind of all derived from Greece and Rome mainly, right? But in there, and of course it frames your mind. But when you consider a lot of things, even things like technological development and stuff from the Eastern perspective,
Hmm.
and when you go to let's say to Eastern countries, to Asia, and you see how much, like for me, it was such a surprise how much of the Asia in general is shaped culturally, spiritually, and all these ways by India and China. I wouldn't say that they are the only two countries that shaped it, but it's clear that they are like Greece and Italy, Greece and Rome of Western civilization, right?
Hmm.
Almost everything has a roots either in one or another. right? And it's, of course, it could be like derived, like in Japan, changed 100 of times, but still like a lot of roots, like for instance, Buddhism in Japan, it came from China, right? But Buddhism itself came from India. So a lot of things, when you start to trace them, you find that the origins of it, like Japanese architecture or Korean, very interesting, but it's actually like it all derived from the old ancient Chinese architecture. So this type of thing, or like in like a lot of food that you try, right? It's almost all of that derived one way or another from when you just tracing it, and you understand, okay, this is basically even more ancient civilizations than any Western civilization. Like India, like existed thousands of years, like also like China before, like even Greece appeared. So yeah, it really opens your mind to think about different things, maybe practical, also spiritual, from the from the Eastern standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, but I would say for everybody, I would really encourage to travel, and especially I would encourage to travel to the places that are very different. Like if you are, for instance, in Italy and you go to Spain, I mean, nice, but it's not really that much of a difference if you go from Italy to Turkey, for example, right? Or like to I don't know, to Iran.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a definitely mind-blowing experience, guaranteed, right? Guaranteed. You will definitely come back as a different person, because some
Mm-hmm.
of your thoughts, some of your perception will be quite different, or at least questioned, because you will really put yourself out, not only comfort zone, but completely, you will bring yourself to a completely different environment that has almost nothing to do with your environment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I think, is the biggest value of traveling.
And we can tell that you've been really enjoying your travels just by the way that you express yourself and the things that you. Uh, but you mentioned a few challenges in Italy. Uh, which other part did you ever experience a challenge? What kind of challenge did you go through? Maybe the biggest one.
I mean, of course, yeah, there are some system challenges like bureaucracy and all of this stuff that you need to you need to go through. And now, for instance, I'm going through the same experience in Greece, and I can tell you how much better it is in Greece compared to Italy. Even though Greece is people also complain it's full of bureaucracy
Yeah.
and pay, right? And it's true, but it's everything is relative, right? Everything is relative. Compared to Italy, Greek experience is like 100% better, right? So for instance, the fact that like in Italy, when I apply for my residence permit, I need to go to the post office with my physical papers printed still, right?
Mm-hmm.
And bring it there. And then what they do, they don't send it to the police office or whatever, they send it to Rome, and regardless of where you are, and then it comes from Rome to your office. That could be just next road, just opposite to the post building. Like this fact, if you think that it's in 70s, okay, but if it's in 2026, how come it can happen, right? So this is the first one, but this is something, after you do 1-2 times, you kind of get used to, and you know the procedure, right? So you start to navigate. And
Mm-hmm.
then for me, the biggest challenge in Italy was the fact that, I mean, no offense to any of Italian friends, but honestly, all of them agree with me, or majority, that it's a closed-mindedness of the nation. Again, not everybody in a nation, right? But it's
Yeah.
like of a general population, like to do things the way it was before, to not really try to think critically, to if something is out of the box, especially in the north part of the country where I lived. I know south is a bit different and is better in some regards than this. But anyway, in the north part, if you want like to do something out of the box, people sometimes feel broken. They cannot comprehend what you even want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, coming from Russia, where flexibility is like the main skill to survive, due to hundreds of circumstances that is happening with the country all the time, it was such a shocker to me, and it was hard for me to understand how can I ever feel belong, because for me also flexibility is one of my biggest values in terms of career, life, perspective, everything. And of course, travel, what we discussed, is kind of embedded in it, right? So it's basically reinforcing it. And I just felt such extreme misalignment culturally with this type of thing, even though, again, nice people, very friendly, very warm in general, also towards me. Couldn't complain much about Italian people being something wrong with it. No, just this part of mentality I couldn't. And I know in Europe, unfortunately, it's quite common, especially on the big Western European countries like Germany or France. It's such a common thing. And it was such a blessing to me when I came to Greece, that I faced that it has some parts, but it's much different situation to me. And also, I think Portugal is another country in Europe that I felt quite similarly. Like it could come from a lot of different historical events why it happens this way. But this is the situation, and for me that was the I just felt a very strong misalignment with this general population mentality and my personal values.
Mm.
And I think this is one of the most important things for everybody who tries to find a country to live,
Mm-hmm.
is this alignment of your own personal values and what country has, without blaming, people in the
Yeah.
country or country, just saying, this is me, this is them, and I don't feel we align. It's all right.
Mm.
Nobody is guilty. It's just you need to find another place to live.
Yeah, find another place to live with that one that identifies with you and your values. Um, but it's good that we are having this conversation, and we can always continue and continue and continue. This point, let's go back to AI and what we are going to expect in the Athens Nomad Fest that is fast approaching.
Yeah, so in this Nomad Fest, it is something interesting also for me because in general in my life, like it's kind of bringing AI to the AEC industry, which you put also like from LinkedIn, right? So I'm developing AI for construction, architecture, and engineering industry. Basically, this is what AEC means, and I do it because I had a background. I was engineer myself, so it's kind of was a smooth transition to me. And this is what I do in my daily life. I'm basically developing it for the businesses that are building the world, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
However, personal agent is something that does not really interfere with it because this is something for the industry, for the like broader. But personal agent is another layer. You can say that there are kind of three layers. One is a personal, another is a company, like how your company operates, and the third one is the industry. Like you do it for builders, you do it for lawyers, you do it for like for some kind of profession, right? As
Mm-hmm.
a product. So I think all of these three layers can exist at the same time, right? Because in our case, for instance, we have a company that is serving this industry, so we do it for the company, for our company, just to operate as a company in an efficient way. And then, of course, we also bring the service to the world. So it's kind of already two coming together, and then there is you as an individual, like. And if like when you need to do, like for instance in my case, like we are a small startup, right? So I need to do a lot of things, not only related to AI or whatever. AI I mean development, but it's also marketing, business development, searching for clients, like trying to promote ourselves and our company, right? So in this case, you kind of you are changing the suits, not only every day, but almost every hour. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, in this case, it combine it with like travels and moving around. It's just such a hard thing for the human being to have everything in your mind, to organize everything, to manage everything. And so it used to be like people used to, more rich people used to hire assistants, like
Mm-hmm.
human assistant, who was basically a full-time job was just to manage somebody else's life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm not that rich, and honestly I don't like the whole concept. I just feel if I would be 70 now, maybe it would be the approach for me, but I just feel it's something that is left in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And now basically this assistant that managing a lot of things for you is the AI. And I started to do my personal agent from the beginning of the year, so basically from January,
Mm-hmm.
and just building on top of it obviously is like on the when I have a free time, it starts to bring me more and more value, and I can tell that it frees my mind in a lot of ways. A lot of things that's as a human biologically I cannot keep in my mind, it's in there, right? And I will talk of course in the fest that there is a quite tricky trade-off, between this, to not completely delegate your mind and reasoning. You always should, as a human, be able to remember things, to reason about things, and be like independent, right? But
Mm-hmm.
so it's not a replacement for your brain, right? But it's a big helper. And for me, I feel it for me personally, and I know that's like not everybody in the same position as me, but I think digital nomad fest more people will be aligned, because when you need to manage so many things at the same time, it's just very hard and overwhelming. And with this thing, but of course you also want to live this lifestyle. This lifestyle has a price, and with AI you try to reduce the price of it in terms of your mental load.
Okay. What, for example, activities or those things that you are going to, or someone is going to apply the AI that you're going to be taking people through?
Yeah.
Give us examples.
Yeah, so example for me, the thing that I started with is like I'm let's say facing a lot of information. Like every day I'm passing through a lot of information, and like building technology, not necessarily, whatever information could be useful. And I never had any a place to organize this information for me, organize in a way that when I need it, because usually when you need something and you remember that you saved it, it's such a hard thing, even if you're saving it in the chat with yourself that people do or somewhere else. It was first of all, if you don't save, then it will take you some time to just try to find it, or maybe you will never find. And then sometimes you even forgot about some things, like, so you don't even you know that the topic that you want to look for, but you forgot what you even saved or what you faced some time ago. So what I started to do, since I was overwhelmed by the information that's coming to me and how to organize, I just made the personal agent basically the let's say, kind of, to put it in a simple way, database where I stored all of the things I'm facing, categorizing and stuff. And then basically what AI for me was doing, it was pulling it up whenever needed, and also storing it in a very easy way for me. So basically, in this way, anything that I read that I found useful, I can always get it in a matter of seconds, and it's helped me and keep helping me a lot. This is what my whole motivation. I was so overwhelmed just by this information, and I didn't find any way online to store it in a way that I liked, because anything that I did, it was like either it would be hard for me to store things. I also had my like not notebook where I was doing journaling every month, and it's nice. It's nice because it's nice to write things with your hand, because it's a thing that is very particular. So a very particular part of your brain works when you're doing handwriting, and this part of brain never works anywhere like in your life. It's only when you're writing. So it's nice thing. But the problem is, if I wanted to get something out of it, I needed to understand where in my notebook it is, and it's like 50 pages, and I can spend like 10 minutes, and maybe it's not this notebook but another one, because I have 5 of them, right? Because if I doing it every month, it's just getting bigger and bigger. So I just digitized it, right? And now it's all also like stored in my database, and basically everything, every notes, anything that I did, I digitize it. And now if I, for instance, want to analyze how my last year passed, instead of me trying, to read through the stuff, I can ask AI, and it can create even the picture for me, my whole path for the year, and it gives me so much perspective. Because it's one thing for journaling or for everything to get things out of your head, which is already good. Another thing is to go and process it, and as a human, it's hard to process it, because if I went through 10 pages, my brain already feels a bit full, But for the whole year, if I want to make analysis, I will make it at 30 pages, and I will just I will already forget what I saw in January when I'm on December, right? So it's kind of thing which, like, the whole principle is like, we have a lot of information about us, our preferences, projects, tasks, everything happening in our life. And what I'm trying to do, and what I will show, what I also like have some templates of people to do, is basically, if you can store a lot of these things online, like in a database, and have your like AI tool big to connect to it and to get it for you whenever you need, it really helps you a lot in organizing your life, in organizing your tasks, and also seeing like for instance, like I also have like this ring, like it's basically measuring. If people have bracelets, I have ring. It's doesn't matter. Ring is a bit better, but it's measuring my sleep, right? So it measures my sleep, and of course, it's also connected to the agent. So like, and in this case, every morning I wake up, it tells me, okay, you slept like this. Sometimes, like today, my heartbeat was a bit higher. It told, okay, don't push yourself hard. You didn't sleep very well. And of course, in this case, it's nice, right? But I mean, people say, if you just cannot, you just tell yourself, if you wake up and you feel sleepy, probably you didn't sleep enough. Yes, maybe. But if you ask me, well, we bought a new mattress in July, right? Did I start to sleep better with the new mattress or no? I don't know. I don't remember how I slept in June. When I woke up in June, I can tell you. But now, 2 months ago, I have no idea how I slept in June. But with this thing, it's all stored. So I can just take and say, in July, I got like much like more sleep, or like any metric, And in this case, like, it's just few examples, but of course I will give much more during the talk.
Yeah, we'll hear much more during your workshop in the Athens Nomad Fest. To anybody who's listening and you're in Athens, please meet us at the Athens Nomad Fest in September. That's happening on the 18th to 25th of September. And yeah, take your ticket now. Go to athensnomadfest.com and take your ticket now. If you want a discount, you can use the code ABROAD. You're on Abroad Experience Podcast. So use the code ABROAD and get your discount. See you there. Thank you very much, very, very much, Alexei, for coming to our show. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, everybody, who listened.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in the fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely meet, and I'm also looking forward.
Okay. So that's about it for this podcast. We highly appreciate you those who are watching or listening. And until next time, this has been your host, Anthony Muiruri, and together with our wonderful guest, Aleksei Kondratenko. We
Thank you.
appreciate.
Thank you, everyone. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
See you.